Hi everybody, my name is Tsuchiya Theiler and I will be giving a presentation on Accelerated Reader. First, what is Accelerated Reader? Accelerated Reader was developed by Judith Paul at her kitchen table in 1984. She wanted children to read good books, so she incorporated behaviorist motivational techniques with technology. Her husband was a technologist, and so she could implement this, and AR was born. AR is a learning information system. It's designed to facilitate curriculum-based assessment of reading comprehension through quizzes. Teachers are able to monitor reading, track progress of the books, and to see the quizzes that students have taken. Students read the books, and then based off the reading level of the book, they receive points. So how does it work for the student? Well, the student chooses a book that AR is assigned a point value, and so if you look to the right, this is an example of a school's level and then the color they've coded it. And so the student would try to find the color coded that they want to find for their book. The student then reads the book, and then the student takes a multiple choice comprehension quiz about the book on a computer with the software. The average economy kit contains 1,000 quizzes and costs $1,299 plus a 99-cent service fee. This is from Steffel Marby's article that I'll be reviewing later, published in 2009. And so if you can imagine, in 2019, inflation, this has probably gone up a bit in price. At this time, Accelerated Reader does not disclose their prices online. You must inquire for a price. So how do they select these books? The writers of the quizzes make book selections based on whether there is enough content for them to create at least 5 good questions about the book. The quiz writers are people with educational backgrounds, teachers and authors, and some librarians may be quiz writers. Also, they select books that are frequently suggested by customers. They're award winners. They receive positive reviews. They are recommended on reading lists. They're popular by authors, and they continue in a popular series like The Hunger Games or Divergent. So how do they receive these point values? Well, based on the number of words it contains and its reading difficulty from the Fleschkin-Kincaid Readability Index. There's a formula that decides this point value. And so this point value is determined by the 10 plus the reading level times the words in the book divided by 100,000 equals the AR points for that book. So I'm going to review 4 other articles. We've already started on the first article by Joette Steffel Marby. Then I'm going to review a book by Tsuchiya et al. By Mary Moyer and Melissa Williams, and then also by Deborah Biggers. If you notice that the newest article in this list is from 2016, and the oldest is from 2001, there's a reason for that. As we know, Accelerated Reader was created in 1984, so a lot of the research that has been published is closer to that time. So Joette Steffel Marby from ALA published this article in 2005. And in her article, she first discusses the definition of AR, which we've gone through. And then also she reviewed 10 research findings and papers. And through her review, overall, there's no conclusive findings because of the control groups versus the experimental groups and the time allotted to the study. One thing that did stand out in multiple studies is implementation of silent sustained reading. Robert and Marlene McCracken, the reading experts, formulated the following recommendations to structure SSR programs. Children should read aloud to themselves for a limited amount of time. Each student should select his own book, magazine, or newspaper. The teacher or parent must read also in order to lead by example. This cannot be stressed too strongly. And no reports are required of the student, so no records are kept, which this looks like the opposite of AR. One other huge takeaway that Steffel Marby says is that AR cannot replace school library media professionals or school librarians. Steffel Marby says that if educators choose to use AR, they must accept the limitations and use it as a supplemental tool. She believes while AR provides teachers with a more up-to-date record-keeping system as a way to assess students' reading levels, keep track of student progress, and determine whether the student has read the books. She really believes that this is a supplemental tool. She also found that AR does not enable students to analyze complex texts, look at viewpoints. I think this is a big one. Use information competently in critical thinking, decision-making, and problem-solving, which I think most teachers would like to do in their classrooms, produce new information, create products, and act responsibly in regard to information. So Joette Steffel-Marby really stresses the importance of using it as a supplemental tool and the importance of having library professionals and using AR as a supplemental tool. Next article is Accelerated Reader as a Literary Catch-up Intervention During Primary to Secondary School Transition Phase by Tsuchiya et al. The authors conducted the intervention and evaluation of AR in 4 different schools, and these schools were located all over the UK. One of the main research questions was to investigate the impact of AR on pupils who joined the secondary school with borderline risk and attainment in English. Transitioning into the secondary school is hard for all students and even harder for students who do not have the grade level reading and writing skills. For students with free school meal, so free and reduced lunch for us in America, it seems that AR does not widen the gap between pupils designated poor and the rest and may well act to reduce it. Siddiqui and colleagues found that AR has a modest impact on the treatment group with the use of AR. Some more observations that the researchers observed were that school leaders observed pupils gradually improving in their STAR performance. They thought that pupils that have exposure to the books of interest and appropriate readability had brought this improvement in pupils' reading levels. Also, school leaders suggested that monitoring and advising pupils helped their confidence to take up a reading challenge. Because these students had never finished a book before, they had low confidence in finishing a book now. With the support of teachers with strategy and advice, students finished these books. And lastly, some parents became aware of the importance of having books for their children's interest in the home. These parents were excited to have these children in the program. Once the program began, the school let them know that they were going to be in the program, and they became aware of the importance of having the books in their home, and once their child started to participate in AR. The next article is Personal Programming by Mary Moyer and Melissa Williams. They are both from Delsa Regional High School, and they implemented AR in 2003. AR was used as a supplemental reading program with students in special education and remedial reading and writing classes in the high school. The goal of the AR program was to help students gain confidence in reading to become self-motivated readers. The district believed that the students will be more successful in reading and in finishing a book if they are allowed choice in the topics. Students participating in setting their individual goals through conferences with teachers. These conferences are ongoing with the teacher as well. Students are permitted to retake the quizzes after rereading books, reviewing their reading logs, and discussing with a teacher or librarian to reflect their comprehension of the book. In this adaptation of AR, students are part of the planning process of their instruction and their reflection on their learning. They also learn how to read more slowly, take notes, and select appropriate books for themselves. The teachers and librarian are collaborative partners with the student. They work together with the student to learn reading comprehension and to learn to have a love of reading. Last article I'm going to review is The Argument Against Accelerated Reader by Deborah Biggers. Biggers argues against Accelerated Reader being the focus of literary or reading programs in schools. The Computer Adaptive Norm Reference Reading Test STAR assesses reading ability. The test chooses the best word to complete the sentence, and the software automatically changes the question based off the student response. Biggers argues that the oral reading comprehension or teacher observations are not used to identify the needs of students to create an improvement plan. For comprehension, AR restricts students to demonstrate reading comprehension with a multiple choice test. The program does not suggest for students to demonstrate comprehension through written response, extension activities, or rereading activities. The only way to demonstrate comprehension is to score highly on AR quizzes. For motivation, AR is focused on rewards and competitive point system built into the program to motivate students to read. Biggers argues that this will create a Skinnerian system of Literacy learning, where students pose the threat of extinction once the rewards are withdrawn. Tangible words like pizza lunches or a store for students to shop for rewards suggest that AR will reduce internal motivation to read. Researchers show that non-tangible incentives like teacher praise and constructive feedback are more motivational than tangible rewards. And for instruction, AR claims to be an instructional program that differentiates instruction for students. Biggers points out that AR's role of the teacher in the program is to model reading behavior, keep daily records, and improve guidance for book selection, and assure students are reading in their zone of proximal development. There is no mention of teachers providing direct instruction of reading strategies. Research shows that when free reading time is combined with direct instruction and reading strategies and with reading extension activities, students achieve at a higher rate. So from those 4 articles, I have come to my own conclusions about the AR program. One thing I really liked about the Moyer and Williams article is that for the Desla Regional High School is that they adapted AR to the reading intervention program to meet the program's needs. And what I really liked about that is that there was collaboration between the teacher and librarian, and the collaboration between the student, teacher, and librarian to discuss the reading goals, choosing the books and the strategies, and evaluating what works and does not work for the student, with the student. And this is a great way to teach and promote reading to remedial reading students. I loved the choice, one-to-one attention, and reading strategies as a way to implement AR as a tool for improving and promoting reading, and not just placing AR in as the tool. Another thing that I really liked is that teachers must accept the limitations and use it as a supplemental tool, like Steffel Marby says. She says that educators must accept the limitations and use it as that supplemental tool. I do like how AR does assess reading level, track progress, and add accountability of the student reading because, well, keeping a student accountable for a teacher, it's nice to have the ability to look at something and not have to do all the work yourself. That's something positive that I do like about it. One other takeaway is that, as Steffel Marby said, there needs to be silent, sustained reading time where students are not accountable for tracking or doing anything. It's just time to read. Another thing that Steffel Marby said is that AR cannot replace school, library, media professionals, or school libraries. Something, once again, that goes with silent, sustained reading time. I do not like that AR does not teach reading strategies or direct instruction that is found in language arts and English classes. Biggers kind of touches on that, about how also students are unmotivated. And as someone who has used AR in their classroom, I resonate with Biggers' reasons. Why not choose the AR program as students read a book to take another standardized test that they are unmotivated once again to take, because reading is once looked at as a grade. And to me, she has a sound argument of those 4 things that she discussed. So after all that lovely information, I have 2 questions for you. First of all, if you've never heard of Accelerated Reader, I would love to know your initial thoughts. So if you have never heard of Accelerated Reader before, what is your initial reaction to this information? Would you implement the program into your school library? Why or why not? And if you have heard of Accelerated Reader, imagine this. Your school district is considering implementing Accelerated Reader into the curriculum of each language arts classroom in your middle school building. Your administration asks for your opinion of implementing the program. Would you be for or against implementation, and why? Thank you so much for listening. Here's my We're Excited, and I'm really excited to see where the conversation takes us with those questions. Thank you.